welcome back to the Fight Cave. I've decided to go ahead and do a end of the year statue collection tour. A little bit of an advisory. I've only been collecting a little under 2 years, so I do not have the biggest collection. There's definitely bigger and better out there, but this is my collection, and we're gonna go ahead and start it right here. This is my XM16 DC line. It's not really displayed the way I would like to display it. I still have two module cases, a DF60 coming in, and I have a DF120 coming in. So right now it's a little cramped. I just want to keep it dust free, but I plan to put these fives in the DF120, and I still have Green Lantern coming in. I don't know where the hell I'm going to put him, but I'll figure it out later. But I'm definitely not happy with the display, the way it displays, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. I have three cases coming in. But overall, I really love this line. It's affordable. It doesn't take too much space. I could not afford these if they were quarter scale, and I definitely couldn't have room to display them. So the fact that I could fit 5 in such a small space is definitely a benefit to me. Overall, I really think they've done a good job. The best piece, in my opinion, this is Aquaman. It's limited to 700 pieces. To me, this is a work of art. It's well done, even though Aquaman is definitely not my favorite piece, or not my favorite piece, but favorite character. Once I kind of saw people posting pictures and videos, I said, man, I got to get it. And there wasn't too many available. So as soon as I got the extra money, I pulled that trigger. Up next is a Flash. This was actually the piece that got me interested in this line. I would settle on getting Wonder Woman. Settle, that's kind of probably the wrong word, but I chose Wonder Woman over this piece, and it was the wrong choice. Flash is one of my favorite characters, probably the favorite character of the DC universe, and I thought this statue was well done. The only critique I would have is these little lightning or energy bolts. They come out once in a while, but I can always get some modeling clay and fix that in the future. I haven't taken care of that yet. I'll probably do it once the other two module cases come in. It kind of gets its final display place. That way I don't have to worry about messing with it again. But yeah, this one they made 700 as well. It's a pretty dynamic piece. I really love it. Moving on to the Trinity. Let's go ahead and start with a piece that started this little collection, and that's Wonder Woman. They made 800 of them. She looks amazing. I have not gotten my replacement portraits. I've been waiting on those for months, so hopefully I get those soon. But honestly, I really didn't see too much fault in the ones I got. The only complaint I would have, there's actually two. They're minor. It's the skin tone. It's a little flat and it's a little too pale. Too pale in my opinion. For Wonder Woman, I think she should have a tan, and I wish they would have used something else besides string for her belt. But I don't think it makes or breaks the statue. It just could have been better if those two things were taken care of. And hey, there might be some collectors out there that love that skin tone. Me, I just, I have another Wonder Woman bust, and I think it looks better with that skin tone. But moving on, we got Superman. Superman was a edition of 600, and I think this piece is pretty good, even though the whole Fortress of Solitude is kind of overplayed, but it still looks great. It's still, to me, Superman, I think it was Superman 2, back in 1979 or whatever. To me, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that movie. So I like it. I like the way his cape flows. I like his little powerful, um, stance that he's having. There are also a couple of things that, upon closer look, I really liked, and that was the blue streaks in his black hair. You can't really see them if you're at a distance of more than 2 feet. But if you shine a really bright light on his head, you can see those blue streaks, and that takes me to the comic book artwork. So I thought that was a nice little touch. So pretty good piece. I like it. And moving on, Batman, that's the most recent piece. I think it's probably the best pose of the 5. The strongest and best pose. I think it's probably the best portrait of the 5 so far. Green Lantern, when that comes in, we'll see if it's able to displace it. But, if you saw the video, there's some issues with it. But overall, this statue is one of the better statues. I think probably Aquaman, I think beats it just because Aquaman is so awesome. But this is a very, very strong piece, and it's only limited to 429, I think. So that's crazy small for a Batman, and for a Batman that looks this good. So I expect this to be very valuable in the future. As I think I'm hoping they continue to make the 1/6 line, and they don't abandon it, because now they have the license for the quarter scales. I think a lot of collectors will get drawn to this line for the affordability and, like I said, the space. Moving on, this is my Scarlet Witch. I kind of got this by accident. What happened was I ordered the legendary scale Thor 1/3 piece, and I kind of chickened out. Number one, I didn't have nowhere to display it. That thing was too big. Number two, the price was just like, I get kind of worried that, if I ever break it or something goes wrong, man, that's a hell of a lot of money to kind of throw away. And even though this wasn't cheap either, but when you look at, this cost me, I think, close to 300 or three and a half to ship it. I can only imagine how much that Thor is going to cost. So I saw a recent unboxing and photos of this statue, and I thought, man, that turned out really, really great. And I reached out to Spec Fiction, and Todd said, yeah, go ahead. If you put that money, that deposit towards another statue, it won't cost you a penny. So that's what I did. I paid this in full. And yeah, as soon as I got it, I really loved it. I think the only complaint I really had was the painting of the hair. But when you're at distance, about 2 to 3 feet, you don't really notice it. So from here, it looks beautiful. It looks great. And it's a job well done. Edition size was, I think, 359, which I love. So good job by XM Studios on that one. And moving on, this is my first really big statue purchase, my first quarter scale X-23. The moment I saw her, I finally pulled the trigger on one of these really expensive statues. I've been looking at these things since probably 2007 when I saw the Hulk versus Spider-Man diorama. I was too scared to pull the trigger. I said I didn't know if I could go home and tell Mama that I was gonna spend, $400 on a comic book statue. But 12 years later, I was finally able to pull the trigger on one of these, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because as you can see, I've been adding to the collection at a pretty fast pace. So she's well done. I think collector and exclusive, there's 3,750, so that's a massive amount. But there's also a massive amount of collectors that want to get this piece. So it's still one of my favorite. I think it's dynamic. There's a story being told here, and it's one of those. It's a grand slam. And moving on, this is kind of like my gateway drug to statue collecting. This is my 1/10 statue by Iron Studios. It cost me about 200 bucks. It's supposed to be a limited edition, but they never number these things. But when I got it, I was really impressed by the detail that they could put in a 1/10 statue. And like I said, I really liked it, and that's what really opened me up to spending some bigger bucks on some of these bigger and nicer statues. And last, this is the only bust I have. This is by Sideshow. The edition size is 500. And this is a beautiful piece. This is one of the best Wonder Woman bust that I've seen. And I'm glad she's a part of my collection. Just well done paint. And this is what I'm talking about when I say skin tone. She's tanned. There's, you know, different ranges of colors in her skin. It just looks more natural and real, and I think Sideshow did a real great job on that. So that's it. I told you that my collection was small, but it's growing. I don't know how much more it can grow because, as you can tell, I collect a lot of other things, and I'm definitely not done collecting those things yet. So thanks for watching. Until next time.